What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another rendition of Truth Be Told. I'm your boy Thomas, giving you another video this week. Nothing major this week in the news today or going on. The whole impeachment trial is still going on, but we know how that's going to end. The Democrats are basically making themselves look like fools, but that's nothing new. They've literally shown all the facts, and it's literally been proven that there was no crime committed, so they're idiots. Other thing I saw that's been going on is they keep showing the whole death of Kobe Bryant. They just won't let that go. Nobody wants that kind of tragedy in somebody's life, and I feel for the family, but at the same time, I wasn't a fan of Kobe Bryant or basketball really, so it really doesn't affect me all that much. I don't know why the news keeps bringing it up, but apparently there's a lot of people that are like, at least the far left. A lot of them, the far left, after his death, now they're attacking him. I don't know, I find it ridiculous, but whatever. And then that idiot Don Lemon goes and attacks Trump on live TV like an idiot. He's a moron. I'm surprised he still has a job, especially after the whole sexual assault thing that he committed. It's just ridiculous. I can't believe he's still on there. He's an idiot anyway, and it's not going to go well for him. I do want to take a minute to tell you that I did watch the first episode of Picard. I'm not even going to go into specifics because there's just too many that's wrong with this show already, even after the first episode. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that go over the first episode with you. I mean, tons of them, because apparently nobody likes the show, which is not surprising since, number one, you have Alex Kurtzman. I mean, it's enough said. Because Alex Kurtzman is into sexual bonding and BDSM and all. Just look at STD. He's a sex freak. And then two, and he's far left politically, and he throws that crap all in his shows. And then two, Sir Patrick Stewart, come to find out, is super extreme left, and they let him have some say in his character, which was dumb, because he's just destroyed that character. So yeah, the show's bad. 2 thumbs down. Trust me, you're not gonna like it if you're a Star Trek fan. The next one, I went ahead and got around to finally watching Terminator Dark Fate. I put it off for a while because I knew I wasn't going to like it, and I was right. I didn't like it. There's tons of videos, because nobody likes this movie either. Nobody likes this movie. And there's a ton of reasons why. It's not even Terminator, as far as I'm concerned. They went way off the rails on this one. And it's the same old story that we've gotten the last 3 movies or so. I thought the last one was bad enough, but they turned it up a notch for this one. The next I'm going to tell you about, I just got done watching Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. It's at least as bad, or if not worse, than The Last Jedi. Rey is still a Mary Sue. Finn's character's just all over the place. He doesn't know what to do half the time. But he's got a gut feeling where something's at, and that they all follow him there. Because he has no proof, he just got gut feeling. The last fight scene, the big battle at the end, it was not a Star Wars scene at all. You just see a few lasers and the ships flying around, blowing up, but that's it. You don't see anything else. Where you have these fight scenes where they're actually doing dogfights, that's not in this. And then most of the fight scene has to do with them running around on the hull of the ship, trying to destroy something on the ship. Some satellite antenna or whatever, but it was a terrible fight scene once. It was terrible. Yeah, the whole last battle scene was just absolutely terrible. It just didn't seem like Star Wars at all, because it wasn't. But yeah, 2 thumbs down on all that crap. Every single one of them. You don't want to watch any of this crap. It's all junk. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's move on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, you movie holics. Let's get on with your B-movie reviews. We did Action Week last week, so this time we're back to Fantasy Week. The first one we're going to talk about is Hawk the Slayer, which was done in 1980. It starred Jack Palance and John Terry. I did not find a box office number for this, so I couldn't tell you how well it did at the box office, but I can almost bet it didn't do well at all. The critics gave it a pretty hard time back then. Nobody really cared for it at all. It's gained a small cult following since then, and I can see why. It's fairly cheesy. I tell you right now, man, I almost wanted to put earplugs in my ears every time they played that god-awful music. It had some horrendous music for the movie. Through all the scenes of the movie, they had some absolutely terrible music playing for it. It was that disco doo-doo-doo crap, it just was horrible to listen to. Now, the story's a pretty simple one. You got 2 brothers who are in love with the same woman. The older brother goes off to war, comes back. His fiance is now with his younger brother. He ends up killing the fiance after they have a fight. They separate. At the beginning of the movie, the older brother ends up calls himself Voldor or something like that. He ends up killing his father, and the younger brother finds his father, and his father is like royalty, a great warrior or some crap like that. Anyway, he gives him his sword, which has a hand for the hilt, and he puts his glowing green rock in it and tells him it's the mind sword. And he transfers its magic power to him, his younger son. And with that power, he can control the sword with his mind. He can call on it anytime he wants to, and it'll come to him. So now he becomes Hawk the Slayer. And by the time we re-enter the story, he's already been Hawk the Slayer for a while, for a few years, and made some friends. Anyway, Voltan, or whatever his name is, Jack Palance's character, attacks this village where this guy runs away and ends up having to get rid of his hand because his hand gets really badly injured. He runs across an abbey that's ran by nuns. The headmistress, she's Voltan shows up and kidnaps her and demands a ransom from the other nuns, and that he promises to be back in so much time to collect it. The one-armed man, he decides that or one-hand man, sorry, he decides to go and hunt down some help to help them out. He runs across Hawk, or Hawk actually finds him. Due to a witch he helps some witch, and this witch helps him find the one-hand man, and then in turn she helps him find some old friends of his, an elf who's an archer, a giant, and a dwarf. So with this crew, Hawk goes to fight Voltan. And eventually, they win. Save the day. And then at the end, Voltan and the giant are talking to the witch, and she tells them, that Voltan's not dead, that some evil power resurrected him, and now it's causing trouble in the south. So they decide they're going to go south, and that's the end of the movie. There was supposed to be a sequel to this, but unfortunately it never got made. And I could see why. The acting was very mediocre. Jack Palance, he's always been a real big B-rated film guy or movie star. His acting's not really all that great. The rest of them were pretty much, most of them were all unknowns, except for one or two who has had a little bit of movie career, but not much. So the acting, like I said, was mediocre. The special effects wasn't really great. They were kind of cheesy, but it was understandable for back then. I mean, they were okay for what they did, but otherwise it wasn't like superb or anything. The story actually wasn't a bad idea. I liked the story. I liked the characters that they put in here. Although an auto crossbow was a little kind of cheesy, if you ask my opinion. The one-hand man had an auto crossbow for his weapon, so it was kind of cheesy. But the giant wasn't really a giant. He was just a really big dude. And dwarf didn't really come off of like a dwarf. He was just like a short guy. The elf guy was alright though. I like the guy who played the elf. He came off alright as an elf. He almost emotionless, which was really cool. He played the part pretty well. But other than that, like I said, the story was alright. It wasn't a bad story. It wasn't executed all that great. I think it could have been better actually, if they'd done a little bit better with it. You know, if they decide to do a remake of it, it actually might be pretty good now. But all said and done, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't a bad cheesy flick. You know, it was B-rated. It wasn't bad. It was decent. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. The next one we're moving on to is a Roger Corman movie. Yes, I know. King of B-rated movies, Roger Corman. It's called Barbarian Queen. And it was done in 1985. It starred Lana Clarkson and Armando Capio. I didn't see any box office numbers for this one. I'm pretty sure it didn't do all that well at all. I think it might have gone straight to DVD, to be honest. Lana Clarkson was in the B-rated movies of Deathstalker, which also was Roger Corman. He just kind of took, she was a model, he took her and decided to do Barbarian Queen. Now there is a sequel to it. I'll eventually get around to watching it too, probably. But the story basically is, you know, some bad guys, they come in and kill the village and just leave a few women who are survivors. And then they, you know, kidnap a few of the villagers as well and take them to their town or whatever, their city. The men they try to turn them into gladiators. Anyways, Lana's character, she's like this warrior princess queen or whatever, and a few of the other women are kind of like Amazons too. Anyways, they end up going with her to go free the people, the townsfolk that were kidnapped, and the men of the village. They meet some rebels in the city that are trying to start a rebellion against the ruler of the city, the king or whatever. They find the gladiators, and they find her fiance, the man she was supposed to marry at the very beginning of the movie. And they coordinate an attack with the rebels to overthrow the king and take over the city, which they do, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. So it's a simple story. You just have to deal with the fact that for about halfway through the movie, you're just dealing with the four women. There's four women. One is her sister, and she's not really a fighter. And the other two are kind of half-ass fighters. Whereas Lana's character, she's the baddie of the group or whatever. So you have to deal with the fact that you got four women who are leading the movie along for that first half of the movie, and then once they get into the city or whatever, then the men get together with them. They hatch a plan. But like I said, for half of the movie, it's mainly just the women. the four women. Um, it wasn't a bad story. It was all right. It's an atypical story, though, for most of your kind of barbarian movies or whatever, you know. You know, the village gets attacked. You know, the one or two survivors grow up and they want to kill the rest of the group that attacked the village. It was fairly similar. I mean, not exactly, but similar to that kind of thing, which you see in a lot of the 80s barbarian type movies. Like I said, it was all right for what it was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't really all that great either. It was cheesy. The acting wasn't really good at all. The acting was pretty bad. It was okay for the most part. I mean, you could stomach it, but it still wasn't really that great of acting at all. It just reminded me, when I was watching it, reminded me of like Babes in Toyland, or Babes Fight Zombies, or Babes Kill Vampire. You know what? Them type of movies, you know, where you always have to have these sexy chicks going and fighting, you know, hordes of monsters or something, you know. Babes with guns, you know, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, that's what it reminded me of. It was okay. It wasn't that great. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So there are you two fantasy movies to go ahead and check out if you really want to. You've heard my opinion on them. I've given you the facts about them. Now, if you have any suggestions or B-rated movies or something that some gems I might have missed, you think I might have missed, leave your suggestions in the comments down below. I'll get to reviewing them when I can. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.